Welcome back, this is Luca, and today I want to get you a gear update when it comes to my Sony setup. Now, if you follow this channel, you know that I've been a loyal Fujifilm shooter for the last 14 to 15 years, and I still am a Fujifilm shooter because the XE5 is here at my side, and I will always have at least one Fujifilm camera in my arsenal. This is granted, this is forever. But if you follow this channel, you also know that almost 2 years ago, I moved my professional setup from Fujifilm to Sony. And I didn't do that because I needed the full frame sensor, because I actually didn't need it. But the reason why I moved towards Sony is for two reasons. One, the continuous autofocus. We all know that the continuous autofocus with Sony is basically unbeatable, and the advantage over Fujifilm is pretty substantial. But what I felt the most was that I needed more flexibility with lenses. And so having the flexibility that the Sony ecosystem gets you when it comes to both first-party and third-party lenses is a pretty huge factor in my decision making. So those are the reasons in a very quick way. Now, moving on from the introduction, let's start with cameras. My two cameras are the Sony A7V, which is recording me right now. You can find my initial review over here somewhere. And the Sony A7RV, which is see in my hands, and you can find my 1-year review somewhere around here. Those are the two cameras that I have for Sony. Now, why did I get these two? Fairly simple. The Sony A7RV, I got it for an incredible price. I basically paid for it 3,000 euros new almost 2 years ago. It was an offer I couldn't pass on, and it's been a workhorse for me ever since I got it. This camera gets me all the resolution that I need. It's also a very good video camera that I can use as a backup for my A7V now, but it's been my main video camera for quite a while. It gets me a lot of flexibility, especially when I need resolution. That 61 megapixel sensor does an incredible job. It's got a lot of dynamic range. It's got a lot of sharpness. Whenever you need to shoot landscapes, whenever you need to shoot product photography, portraits, like studio stuff, where I want, I don't always need, but where I want a lot of resolution, this is the camera I go to because it delivers incredible image quality. Not only that, it's perfect also for testing lenses because this resolution stresses all the lenses pretty dramatically. Again, incredible camera, not the most inspiring. I don't think any of the Sony cameras are particularly inspiring, but when it comes to doing work, when it comes to getting the job done, these cameras don't fail. An incredible plus for me is the screen that you see over here. I've discussed the screen at length in my other videos. I think all the cameras should have a screen like this that allows you to do everything that you want. If you want it to tilt, it's going to tilt. If you want it to flip, it's going to flip. You can do everything you can possibly want. I don't think the screen itself, the quality of the screen itself, is nothing to write home about because it's for the resolution it has, is pretty below par for what concerns the quality of the screen itself. But the articulation of it is just so clutch that I will never give up on that. Again, great camera. But the A7V, which is the newest of the cameras, is my do-it-all camera, the camera that I use the most ever since I've purchased it. And I will release a new video with a lot more information because I want to talk to you about wildlife photography, wildlife video, and stuff like that, because I need to update you on a couple of things. But that video is going to come at a later stage, at a later moment. So the A7V, I picked that one up because the body is basically the same. Yes, the viewfinder resolution is a little bit lower, but unless you're playing with them, trying to find the differences, you're not going to notice. If you're using one, you're going to be fine with either or both. So no big deal there. But besides that, it's basically the same body. It gets me the same functions. And for me, that is an important thing because you don't have to remember 7,000 different setups. You can set the camera up at the same way and you're going to be more than happy with it. Not only that, I picked the A7V the moment it got launched because this camera has all the things that I need as of now. And I don't feel I'm missing on those things that this camera does not have. Meaning I don't miss the open gate because I've never used it. I don't miss anamorphic de-squeeze because I've never used it. I don't miss raw video because I've never used it. So for my personal use, the A7V is just perfect. It gets me the flexibility of having a relatively high resolution sensor that gives me 4K 60 uncrop and 4K 120, even if that is cropped. I didn't have this flexibility with this camera. Not only that, the rolling shutter is a lot better. I can use electronic shutter, something that with this camera you will never be able to do. And I can shoot 30 frames per second when it comes to wildlife. I don't always use that, but I have the flexibility of doing it. It's just an incredible all-around camera that I cannot recommend enough. It's really a great camera. Everything it does very, very, very well. But where it's most important when it comes to gear setup is the lenses, because those are the things that are going to make the difference in what you do and what you can or cannot do. And I want to start with the lens that is recording me right now. It's a lens that I haven't talked to you about just yet because it's not a new lens. It's a Sony GM 24mm f1.4. This has been, ever since I purchased it 3 months ago, it's been my go-to lens when it comes to these videos, when it comes to studio stuff. It's just an incredible lens. It's relatively compact and lightweight. It focuses really well. I like the rendering of the image. I like the bokeh that I get. I've basically never used it for photography, if I'm being completely honest, but I will. I have plans to use it pretty soon. But in general, for video stuff, this is my main lens, and I freaking love it. I didn't think I would love it that much. I also purchased it at an incredible price used, so it was a no-brainer, and I just love this lens. There's nothing that I can complain about with this lens. Moving on from the 24mm f1.4, my next most used lens when it comes to professional use is this chunky boy over here. This is the Sigma 28 to 105 f2.8. As you can see, it's a pretty big one and it extends when you zoom it. It's not the most pocketable lens. Sorry, the rear cap came off. This lens, I basically trade, if you follow the channel, you know that I was using the Sigma 28 to 45 f1.8 and the Tamron 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8. I sold both of those to get this Sigma and the 24 f1.4 because I realized I wasn't using the 105 to 150 that much, and I was sometimes missing having the possibility of doing everything with one lens when I was using the 35 to 150. And so this one covers me pretty well. It's not the most exciting lens, but it's a workhorse. It does everything that it's supposed to be doing, and it does it really well. I have no problem when it comes to either video or photos. It's the lens that I use when I have events, when I know I'm gonna have to do everything with one lens. This lens is the lens that I'm gonna use. It's the reason why I also sold the 28 to 45, because the range was pretty limited, and I thought I'm gonna get the 24 f1.4. I can crop in with the APS-C and go to an equivalent of 36. I am gonna be fine. I'm not gonna miss the 28 to 45, although that lens was spectacular. Again, I reviewed this lens. You can find it over here. It's an incredible lens. In that video, I told you that I was gonna sell it because I was gonna use the other setup that I just mentioned. I changed my mind. I got it wrong, and I reversed it back. I purchased this one used, and it hasn't disappointed me at all. Again, it's big, it's heavy. It's got a flaw that I didn't really see in my first video, is that it's got an aperture ring. You can see it, and you can declick it, you can do whatever you want. It's just that it moves a little bit too easily. So as you're handling the lens, you can sometimes find yourself at a different aperture compared to the one that you thought you were at. Besides that, besides the size and the weight, it's a great lens. It's got basically no flaws, as I mentioned in my video that I referenced before. My other professional use lens that I use a lot is this tiny, we can say tiny 16 to 25 millimeters f2.8 G. This lens is just spectacular. You can find my video over here somewhere. I love this lens. It's sharp. It goes particularly well even at f16. You can do whatever you want with this lens. Yes, the range is a little bit limited between 16 and 25, but realistically, especially if I'm using it on the A7RV, if I need a little bit more, I can crop in APS-C and I'm gonna get the equivalent of a 35 millimeters lens. So not big deal from that standpoint, but it's compact, it's lightweight, and it renders incredible image quality. It's something that I love a lot about this lens. I don't always use it, but when I use it, I'm always pleased with the results that I get. I will strongly recommend you getting one if you're looking for a compact f2.8 zoom. I don't think it's going to get any better than this, honestly. There are other zooms. Some of them have a more extended range, the 16 to 25. They're probably even a little bit better. This one is 2.8 and it's got an incredible image quality, and the autofocus basically never fails. So really, really happy with this lens. Next up, speaking of professional photography, is the Sirui 85mm f1.4, the Aurora series that you see over here. Sirui sent me this lens to review. I reviewed it over here. And ever since I got it, it's not the most incredible lens that you can find, but for the price, it's hard to beat the combination of image quality, quality of the bokeh, which is spectacular, and size and weight. Because there's the competition, there's the Viltrox 85 1.4 Pro. That lens is much bigger and heavier. I've used it, it's a very good lens, but it's way bigger and heavier than this one. So the overall combination of size, weight, image quality, and even the autofocus, although it's not perfect, it's relatively trustable. I don't know if that reliable is probably a better word. I don't mind using this lens. It's probably not going to be the 85 millimeters for my life. If you want, I will at some point probably upgrade to something else. But for now, it's getting the job done, and I don't have much to complain about. So this is what my professional setup is when it comes to events or portrait photography or anything like that. I will add at some point a 50 millimeters or a 35 millimeters, a fast one, either f1.2 or f1.4. I have I'm testing the 50 millimeters GM F1.2. Our review is coming soon. I don't know that I'm gonna look after that one specifically, but we're gonna talk about that in that video. Great lens, don't get me wrong, but we're gonna talk about that in that video. That being said, when it comes to other uses, a lens that I use a lot, but when I say a lot, I mean a lot, is the Sigma 20-200. This lens that you will find a review over here changes everything for me. Between this one, I basically can get out and do landscape photography with just one lens. Unless I know for a fact that I need wider than 20 millimeters, I can get out with this one lens, which is also fairly compact and lightweight, put it on the A7RV. The resolution is incredible. It's got minor deficiencies at the corners, but they're not that bad. The image quality you get is really good. The autofocus is really good. It's an incredibly useful macro lens because it's got its minimum focusing distance even at 85 millimeters. So you get basically a macro lens. It's not a one-to-one reproduction, but it allows you to get you a lot of close-ups. Every video close-up that you've seen in my channel for the past year, ever since I got this lens, has been done with this lens. It's very good. I still can't wrap my head around how good this lens is at this price, at this size, and at this weight. It's a game changer lens. I would, like, you see my enthusiasm, even though I have more expensive lenses, more professional lenses, I have very good stuff, and I've used very good stuff. My enthusiasm for this lens is real because it really is a game changer. Go check my video out, go check someone else's video out. You will understand what I mean with that. Going from 20 to 200 with only one lens is incredibly useful. Way more than a 28 to 200, which I had, and a 25 to 200, which I would not buy because those 5mm on the wide end make a lot of a difference. So super, super, super recommended when it comes to landscape photography. If I need to go wider, I'll bring with me the 16 to 25. It's a great lens, and I'm covered for everything that I can possibly ask. I would want to have like a wider lens, a 16 f1.8, just in case I'm going for Aurora, Northern Lights, and stuff like that. But honestly, I live in Sicily. I don't do those things that often, so it's not worth to have one always with me. It would be a bad investment. I will purchase one when I need to go, and then I'll probably sell it back whenever I don't need it anymore. So that's the overall idea behind my choice. Last but not least, this beast of a lens over here. This is the 200 to 600 from Sony. Now, this lens, among all the ones that I've talked to you in this video, is the least impressive. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's a good lens. However, you can tell it's an older design from Sony. Why? It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's very big, and also it's front heavy. So whenever you're using it, it put a lot of strain on your wrist or whatever it is that you're using to carry the lens in the camera. And at the telephoto end, you can see fringing, you can see that the image falls a little bit apart when it comes to sharpness. Again, it's not the most impressive lens of this world. And I believe at some point this is going to be updated with a new model. I'm pretty sure about that. That being said, for me, this is enough. I am not a wildlife photographer by trade. I love to do wildlife photography, and that's the reason why I have a lens like this. But at the same time, it's not my main focus. It's not my main thing. And so investing a lot more on something that I would use sporadically doesn't make too much sense. I would love to have the 300mm f2.8. I tried that lens. It's incredible. It's super compact. It's very lightweight. It goes perfectly well with teleconverters. It's all great, but I cannot justify spending $6,500 on a lens that would stay in my house for the vast majority of the time. So for whenever I want to have fun and I want to do wildlife photography, the 200 to 600 is just fine. I will update to a newer version if they ever make it, assuming it's more lightweight and especially better balance when it comes to weight. This is super front heavy. A better balance on a new lens would go a long way. I would also assume the lens is going to be even better from a optical standpoint. So I will update to that lens whenever that lens gets released. For now, this one's more than enough. That is it. I have a lot more stuff. Of course, I have filters, I have flashes, I have a lot of other material, but this video would probably become endless if I kept talking about those. So I want to wrap my video up here. I'm curious to know your thoughts about my setup, but also what you have in yours. If you have any doubt that I can help you clear, let me know in the comments below. This is the reason why I opened this channel. I keep saying that all the time. And go check the description because there's going to be the links to all the videos to the material related to the material that I talked about in this video. That is it for today. Ciao, grazie, and I'll see you in the next one.